Well, hello. Welcome back to a not so nice looking Wednesday. It's very drab and wet out there. I'm Claire, this is Purple Poppy, and today we are on our accordion book in the Lynne Moncrief style. This is the page that we did last week, and this is the page that I want to do today. So I've basically put just gesso and white paint on the background. I've put a bit of lace down there. I've put some Tim Holtz leaf die cuts on there, a little bit of fabric and a rusty safety pin. And that's it really. Now obviously I appreciate you may not have gesso, we'll just use white paint. You may not have this die, you can pick some leaves out the garden, anything really. So I have, because of the paint drying, I have prepared this page. So if I put that, underneath like so you can see what I'm doing. Let me just double check that's all in screen. Yep, that's perfect. So because the paint drying, I've prepared it. You can see I've got a bit of background and there's my lace. And then I've just got some very cheap acrylic paints. These actually came from the works if you're in the UK. 12 in a pack. Dirt cheap because I bought a complete kit with palette knives and a paint tray and watercolour, and the whole thing was only £10. So I would have thought if you bought these on their own they're probably about £4 or £5, something like that. And I've just got the ochre yellow, and I'm just going to put a little tiny bit sort of there and there and there and there. Okay, and I'm going to wash out my brush like so, and then I'm going to put, this is the burnt sienna, and just put little bits around. Just looks like, you know, a child's. You can see I'm using more of the dark than I did the light. Looks a bit like a child's painting at the moment, doesn't it? Mind you, I'm no artist, so as you can see from that. And then some, this is burnt umber. I'm just doing the same thing again. I'm dabbing it on. Okay, the reason I did the yellow with the, and I'm going to put a little bit of this in my paint tray. The reason I put the yellow on with the brush is because I wanted a much thinner level. And then I've got my palette knife, and I'm just going to draw it all down like that, and back up and down. So it's really sort of messy. That's what I want. And the reason I wet my palette knife first was to make sure that I got a good array of colour. Okay, not as dark as that one. I'm then using spray oxide in Gather Twig. Oops, now I don't want to spray all this, do I? So let's get rid of that, and let's cover this up with, what have I got to hand? I've got an advertising book here. So cover all that up, and then I just you see I'm just, whoa, see, now that's what I didn't want. So I'm gonna have to use a bit of tissue now and pick that up, but obviously I'm going to put my leaves on, so that doesn't really matter. I found it much easier when I did the flicking, if I'm honest. Right, and then I'm going to take my paintbrush and I'm going to make this really wet, really wet. Okay. And I'm just going to flick all over it. Wash that out. And then I'm going to add a little tiny bit of black to that. Little tiny bit, because we want it much darker. Like that. Real messy fun and games today. And why not, she says. Get it nice and wet. And again, I'm going to flick. Bit more water, it's drying out a bit. Just tone it down like that. Okay, and then I'll put some white on. So a little bit of this really runny white children's paint. It comes from Tesco's. Really cheap, really runny. And I'll use my dirty brush so it's not completely white. It's got a weird sort of grey colour to it, as you can see. But that's fine because on our page it's white enough. Okay. I want more white at the top there. Okay, so we've got that lovely sort of messy, that's better, I wanted to break that up, that lovely messy look. Believe it or not, it's exactly what I wanted, as you can see from this one. It's a little bit, this one's a little bit darker, but that's absolutely fine by me. So then I've got some new leaves, whoops, so maybe there. What about that one with less holes? We'll go there, maybe. Cover up some of that splod that we didn't want. And then a smaller one coming down there. Or do we want that lighter one that's slightly bigger? Yeah, that's the way I want it. So then I'm literally going to take some Pritt stick and I'm going to put my glue onto my leaf. That's come through the hole there, and that was about there, like that. And then this one, don't want to put down yet because I want my bit of fabric. So take my scissors, cut that about there and tear. Move this back up out the way for a minute. Give myself some nice rough edges. Okay. Then I'm bringing on my archival just to dull this down a bit because it's a bit white, a bit creamy. And we want it a little bit darker, like so. And then that is going to sit about there. So, whoops. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on here. Where's my leaf gone? I've lost my leaf. Oh no, there it is. I'm going to put my leaf on there like that. Okay, and where are my rusty safety pins? Will be in here. I told you before, I just put a little metal tin in the garden throw all these pieces in and let the rainwater and nature do its thing. I don't use any paint or dye, and then I'm just going through the leaf onto the fabric, back through again, so that it looks like I pinned the leaf to the page. And of course I have actually. It doesn't look like it, it's what I've done. Poke all that back through there. There. And now I'm just going to ink this up like so, and pop that down about there, like that. Now I do notice that on this one, the original one, I had the leaves going in different directions, and here I've got them going in the same direction. So I am wondering if I might add in a third leaf this time, because we can, and just maybe add another one there. I don't think it's quite as impactful with 3. Oh, it is if we put that one up there. So I'm just going to put a third one on here because I can. And to do these, all I did was I took that same postcard card that I used, these, and I dabbed it into a combination of red, orange. I'm just looking to see if I had any left on my desk. No, red, orange, green inks that had plenty of water in. I just dabbed it, got that mottled effect, and then run it through my die cut. So there you go. This was the original with a slightly bigger paper clip, and it was slightly lower, and it's a bit lighter than that one, but I'm quite happy with that. So there you go. There's page 3. No, page 2, because we did the cover, which is not a page, it's a cover. There you go. Happy Wednesday crafting to you all. Stay safe. See you very soon. Bye bye for now.